both guys. I love both guys. I had a conversation with Stephen A. about it, and I told him I was LeBron. I'd have walked up on him the same way.
I'm going to drop the mic on all of this right now, once and for all.
Stephen A. Smith is stirring up drama, and Dwyane Wade is loving every second of it. After Stephen tried to create controversy around LeBron James, Wade stepped in and shut it down without holding back. He put Stephen in his place, but instead of backing off, Stephen doubled down, ranting about the situation on his show. Rather than admitting fault, he insists he did nothing wrong and is now blaming Wade for calling him out.
That's my job! That's my job! I'm supposed to ignore that while he's wearing a Lakers uniform?
From intense interviews to explosive social media reactions, this feud is spiraling out of control. So, what really happened? Why is Stephen so fixated on this? And why is the internet dragging him? Let's break it all down.
So we got the Draymond Greens out there with his damn podcast. For some reason, suddenly forgetting my character and who I am. And he's talking about, yo.
Dwyane Wade and LeBron James have been friends for years, entering the NBA together in the 2003 draft and winning 2 championships with the Miami Heat. Even Stephen A. Smith acknowledges their special bond, despite his attempts to stir up controversy.
They talk about LeBron James, and they were talking about who's his best teammate ever, and they brought up Anthony Davis, and they brought up Kyrie Irving. I said, Dwyane Wade.
What's truly heartwarming about Dwyane Wade and LeBron James' friendship is that after all these years, Wade continues to stand by his best friend. Recently, he stepped up in a big way by calling out Stephen A. Smith for twisting the truth about his so-called beef with LeBron. During his appearance on 7:00 p.m. in Brooklyn with Carmelo Anthony, Wade opened up about his relationship with both parties. He revealed that he's close with both LeBron and Stephen, and even spoke to Smith after their viral exchange.
A personal relationship with Stephen A. Obviously, our relationship with Brian and my relationship with Brian is documented.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I have a relationship with Stephen A. as well. And so we talk. You know what I mean? I'm not talking out of school. Me and him text back and forth.
And guess what? Dwyane told him straight up, if he were a father, he would have done the exact same thing to Smith.
Told him, as a father, I'm walking up on you.
Right.
He also noted how shocking it was that LeBron even confronted Stephen, considering the Lakers star is known for keeping his cool and rarely ever loses his temper.
Because I'm like that too. Like I'm at you.
Of course.
But also, you know what I told him, I said, and I think we've never seen LeBron do that. Like we've never seen, like LeBron don't even go back at players that foul him too hard on the court. We've never seen him be, like he's always been just even keel and level headed in every aspect. And sometimes you want him to jump. Sometimes you want him to go.
Watching Stephen sit on that bench after making those comments about his son in front of everyone was the breaking point for LeBron, causing him to finally lose his temper. To Dwyane Wade, that reaction made perfect sense, and he told Stephen exactly that. Meanwhile, Stephen was partly upset about LeBron confronting him so publicly. During his sit-down on Gil's Arena, he called LeBron's decision to challenge him in front of the cameras weak.
What do you make of LeBron confronting you in the aftermath of that situation?
I thought it was weak.
But Dwyane wasn't about to let Stephen slander his best friend. At the same time, he didn't want to escalate the drama further. Instead, he took an interesting approach, convincing Stephen that LeBron confronting him was actually a hidden compliment rather than an outright attack.
I told him, I said, you know, Stephen, I think the one thing is, and first of all, I take it as that's a sign of respect that LeBron did that to you.
Stephen has one of the biggest voices in the NBA and is now the face of ESPN. In his own twisted way, LeBron seemed to acknowledge that with his reaction.
Your microphone is the loudest, your platform is the biggest, and also you're a black man.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, man, so you got to understand, you know, where he's coming from with that. If he even approached you, because yes, the Skip Bayless of the world and all these guys have said things about him his entire career, and he's been above it. He stayed quiet above it and did his thing. And so that meant something. That's respect right there for everything you built. You know, we know Stephen A. from Quite Frankly. We know Stephen A. when he was on the come up. And so,
however, Dwyane wasn't oblivious to how unusual this situation was. A star NBA player confronting a sports commentator during a game? That's practically unheard of. It's not something you see every day, making the moment even more shocking.
No, it's a touchy situation because we've never seen this before. We've never seen this before when it comes to son, father. What do you say? What don't you say? In that aspect. So I don't know if it's a right answer, but I would have.
Honestly, Dwyane kept it real during the interview. No drama, just straight facts. He wasn't problematic and laid everything out clearly. That should have been the end of it. But this is Stephen A. we're talking about. The man lives for drama, so, true to form, he addressed Dwyane's comments on his show.
Because I want to put an end once and for all to this discussion about yours truly and LeBron James in light of what happened last week. Dwyane Wade and Carmelo Anthony, both of whom know LeBron very well, weighed in on the situation between...
And here's what Stephen A. had to say. Surprisingly, he was actually grateful to Dwyane Wade for laying down the facts. Wade didn't make it seem like Stephen had backstabbed a friend. He simply pointed out the reality. Stephen and LeBron have rarely seen eye to eye, and Dwyane acknowledged that. On his show, Stephen addressed the situation, saying, like Melo said, it's been stewing for years. What pisses me off about this subject is that too many people aren't touching on the truth. Melo and D-Wade did. LeBron and I don't have a relationship. He doesn't mess with me, and I don't mess with him. I respect the hell out of him, but that's it. He also clarified why he's been speaking about the incident on various shows. Many questioned why he didn't just address LeBron directly that day instead of talking about it later. Turns out he didn't want to make a scene. He explained, "Me and LeBron, we don't roll like that. Hi and bye. He ain't got much use for me, and I damn sure don't have much use for him." Stephen then claimed LeBron intentionally confronted him in a setting where he couldn't respond without causing a bigger spectacle. He rolled up on me knowing I wouldn't have a chance to respond unless I was willing to make a scene, right at courtside, with national television cameras rolling, on the very day my new contract was announced. Stephen also defended himself against backlash, insisting he never dragged Bronny James. He even claimed to have video proof that he never disrespected LeBron's son, warning that if anyone accuses him again, he'll release the footage to set the record straight.
I think his wife is the first lady of the NBA, class personified. I think his mom is an absolutely wonderful woman. I don't have to talk to Randy much. That's a good brother. Rich Paul and me are pretty damn cool. Rich is good people. Bronny James, that is not true. To the James family and all your close confidants and loved ones, that is not true. I have video. Document.
Stephen also confirmed that Dwyane spoke to him about the situation and even showed some love for his longtime friend during their conversation.
D-Wade is told 1,000% truth when he said what he texted me and said to me, because we do have a relationship. I love that brother. That's my dog.
Halfway through his rant, Stephen got fired up, straight up yelling into the mic with full intensity.
I would never call out somebody as a father for stuff that's going on in the privacy of your life and your home, but I covered the NBA. And what I was talking about when it came to fatherhood was what we were seeing on an NBA basketball court. That's my job. That's my job.
Ironically, despite all the backlash, Stephen refuses to back down from anything he said. You'd think he'd take a moment to reflect on his actions and consider how he could have avoided the situation, but nope, he's standing firm without a second thought.
It's a week later, and I'm not going to talk about this anymore. But let me say this to y'all. It's a week later. I'm not backing up from a word I said. I was right. I was doing my job. And in the process of doing my job, I wasn't doing my job when I didn't talk about it.
At this point, it feels like Stephen A. is just dragging the situation. One person even commented, "For the last time, bro has said this like 3 times already." Another wrote, "You don't want to end this. You love this convo." Even LeBron James seems to think Stephen needs to move on. The Lakers star has finally broken his silence, addressing the drama during his appearance on the Pat McAfee show. LeBron called out the sports commentator for blowing things out of proportion. I mean, it's been weeks, and Steven is still harping on the same issue. LeBron even threw some shade, comparing Steven to Taylor Swift. He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now, LeBron joked. I didn't want to address it, I wasn't going to address it, but since the video came out, I feel the need to. Really, LeBron? Are you kidding? If there's one person who is eagerly waiting for that video to drop just so he could respond, it's him. Oh, and LeBron also admitted that confronting Steven was a complete waste of time. Nothing changed, Steven missed the entire point. Never would I ever stop people from talking about the sport or criticizing players for what they do on the court. That's part of the game. That's your job. Asterisk, LeBron explained. But when you take it to a personal level, it becomes my job to protect not just my household, but also the players. And LeBron is certain about one thing. Steven isn't done yet. He's convinced that after his comments, Steven is bound to make another video and keep this feud alive.
I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about him. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the freezer and sit in his chair in his tighty whities on the couch.
I hope at some point you do get a chance. But you're right.
Like relax, bro. Like relax.
If you are trying to make the argument, LeBron, that your son is ready to play in the big leagues, then he has to be ready to deal with the criticism. Okay, that's just how this works.
LeBron is speaking facts, and a lot of people seem to agree with him. Take Draymond Green, for example. He also thinks Stephen A. Smith is dragging this whole situation out. In fact, he even reminded Stephen of the consequences that could come with his attitude if he kept it up outside of TV debates. A lot of problems guys have with the media come from calling something a man did BS or weak. Where we grew up, you say that you get hands put on you. Asterisk, Draymond said. But it wasn't just what Stephen said. It was how he handled the entire situation. The Golden State Warriors star made it clear that he wasn't impressed. Calling another man weak? That's not basketball. That's what Bron was saying in the first place. You're calling Bron weak for stepping to you, but you're taking shots at him as a father on TV, behind a camera. Most would say that's weak. Draymond didn't stop there. He was particularly disgusted by how Stephen criticized LeBron's role as a father. You're on national TV condemning a black man as a father just because his son is playing in the NBA. How does that even make sense? I can't respect that. It's clear that LeBron has plenty of people standing up for him, but not everyone agrees with his decision to confront Stephen A. on national TV. Candace Owens, for one, thinks LeBron should accept that criticism comes with the territory. If you're going to insist on putting your son on the court, you should be prepared for the backlash as well. If you're trying to argue that Bronny is ready for the big leagues, then he has to be ready for the criticism. That's just how this works. Former Super Bowl champion Ryan Clark had a more balanced take. While he understood LeBron's protective instincts as a father, he also felt LeBron needed to accept the reality of professional basketball. I'm not LeBron, but I am a father and I'm willing to die for mine, he said. However, Clark also pointed out that criticism is part of the game and something LeBron will have to deal with. Bronny is definitely going to be criticized, and LeBron just has to put up with it. Besides, Bronny gets fairly compensated for it. Clark further explained, granted, Bronny gets criticized more than any other 55th pick in the draft, but he also gets more love, money, and opportunities than any other second-rounder, thanks to his father's greatness. And what about Bronny himself? Well, he's been keeping his head down and focusing on basketball. During the Lakers' recent showdown against the Milwaukee Bucks, the rookie came off the bench and put on an impressive performance, scoring a career-high 17 points in 30 minutes. Even Stephen A. had to give him credit for that. I was very impressed because I saw an elevation in his level of confidence and poise. He didn't look as nervous as he had in previous games. He looked like someone who belonged. Asterisk, Stephen admitted. He also acknowledged that injuries and absences gave Bronny more time on the court, saying, with the Lakers missing LeBron, Luka, Rui Hachimura, and Austin Reeves, that gave Bronny a chance to play 30 minutes. But credit where credit is due, he made the most of it. Still, Don't expect LeBron and Dwyane to back off just because Stephen A. said a few nice words about Bronny. Stephen has a long history of stirring up controversy, and even now, he's refusing to let this go, constantly defending himself and insisting that he was right. But what do you think? Did Dwyane make the right points? And when will Stephen finally let this go? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to check out our next video.